farm produce or livestock or you know, the profit that the individual make or the money the individual make in transactions. Those are the areas where tax is imposed, whereas where zakat is imposed. Whereas tax proper may even impose on services. But insofar as they are concerned, sometimes they are confused in the sense that the Islamic State can use both of them to conduct its development project. The Islamic government, people pay zakat to the central authority of the state, that is the Islamic Finance House. The Islamic Finance House will distribute the zakat to the needy, and part of it will be used for development projects like building mosques, building marketplaces, and other public utility facilities, you know, other facilities that can be used by the general public. So that is probably the slight difference in the sense that the tax proper may be imposed on services, whereas in Islam, zakat is not imposed on services.
Okay. The question I want to ask here is, if the difference between the difference is too slim, there's only a slim line between zakat and tax, you know, can't you use your zakat and pay your tax?
You see, the problem, the problem is zakat is a very restricted area.
The tax you are paying is going to be used for the development of the country.
Yeah, but mind you, be careful. Zakat is very restricted. It's a well-defined area. Al-Quran al-Karim has made it clear as to from whom it should be collected, how it should be distributed, and to whom it should be given. You understand? Unlike tax, sometimes tax, in most cases, it is the state that decides on tax. And that is why I'm saying that tax also includes, that is something collected from services, from the service that the state is offering, is giving to the people. So it may be very risky to run that trade, because if that leads you to giving zakat to a direction or to people who don't deserve it, then that will be a violation of the principle of the rules of zakat. So, in other words, tax is defined and imposed by the state, whereas zakat is well defined by Islamic law. Whether you have an Islamic government or not, whether we have a secular government or not, it's well defined. So, I think to be on the safe side, what is most important will be for us to allow them to stand together. But because if you have a system whereby, like the case is in countries like Malaysia, for instance, and Indonesia, whereby the state, and I think Pakistan too, whereby the state automatically or generally collect or centrally collect zakat from people. The money that people keep in their bank accounts, when zakat becomes due, they are deducted automatically, and then all the money collected for zakat purposes will go to the zakat house, and the zakat house will take care of distributing the zakat in accordance with the 8 principles that are mentioned in Surah At-Tawbah in the Masadaqat al-Fuqara up to the end of the ayah. So then anything that comes, you know, out of it can be distributed in accordance with that particular ayah that I'm referring to. So during the distribution process, the state or the central authority will be allowed to distribute it in a way that part of it will be used to cover its running cost, and also to cover other development projects. You understand? But then when it comes to tax, it is defined by the state, collected by the state, and then spent by the state in accordance with their own development policies.
Taking you back to a point we said here earlier, that is about the lending and the lending and blend of money. Now, if in principle you agreed with somebody that you will lend him an amount of money, 2,000 for example, and he says to you, if you pay me 2,500. Although it is riba, but if it is based on agreement, and the two parties didn't see it to be a problem, will Islam
remember this principle of Islam from Prophet Muhammad that al-Muslimun and the shurutihim illa shartan harrama halalan or halla haraman, or illa shartan halla haraman or harrama halalan. Whatever 2 or more individuals agree among themselves in the form of a contract, in the form of a gentleman agreement, or a mutual agreement, their agreement is binding on them, and Islam allowed them to conduct their relationship in accordance with their agreement, except for an agreement which violates the principle of haram, or an agreement which aims to make something halal which is haram already. or an agreement which aims to make something haram, which is halal. You understand? So if the fact that they don't see a problem, who are they? You know, if they are Muslims, it is not they who decide what they should do, what they should not do. What they should do or what they should not do, what is halal or what is not halal, has long been decided 14 centuries ago by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Holy Quran. And the other ayah which says, مَا كَانَ لِمُؤْمِنٍ وَلَا مُؤْمِنَةٍ إِذَا قَضَى اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ أَمْرًا أَن يَكُونَ لَهُمُ الْخِيَرَةُ مِنْ أَمْرِهِمْ. If you are a true believer of God, once it becomes clear to you that you should go this way, don't say, oh, but let me go this way, because in my opinion, I think I should go this way. Islam says, do it this way, do it that way. Islam says, this is haram, it is haram. You have no choice but to accept it. This is halal, you have no choice but to accept it accordingly. Allahu Alam.
Someone also asked here that a man who refuses to give out zakat, not because he doesn't want to give it out, but he decides to accumulate it until it can build a mosque, and he built a mosque with that money.
That is also not proper. You know,
will it be accepted for him?
Whether Allah will accept it for him is a different thing. But if once he give it out, at least he can be in the safe side in the sense that he has given the zakat. But mind you, the ulama of Islam, not all of them are in agreement that zakat can be, and I forgot to mention that the zakat can be diverse for services, like public services like mosque. There are those who are in the who are of the opinion that you better give it to individual needy people. But whatever the case is, whether you build it for mosque, you use it for building a mosque, or you give it to individual needy people, or to sponsor Quranic schools, or people who are going to study Islam, you must respect the timeline set by Islam to give zakat. When it becomes due, make sure that you give it out accordingly. Do not postpone, because the moment you bring in your opinion, you are now set to sort of amend or to interfere with the principles with the laws of Islam, which is not, allowed, because this is one of the issues which is well defined by Al-Quran al-Karim. Okay. So you don't have any option but to do it accordingly.
Okay. Yeah. Someone also asked here, if a drug dealer builds a mosque, a cartel.
There is this proverb, it's a legal maxim in fact in Islam, that that says that al-ahdafu la tubarrir al-wasail. Ends cannot justify means. Ends cannot justify means. Having a very good intention, a very good objective, noble objective, does not authorize you, does not justify you to try to achieve it through an unlawful means. If theft is haram, theft is haram. You understand? If drug dealing is haram, drug dealing is haram.
The end result of
yes. If zina is haram, the zina is haram. So there is no matter what objective you have to use the money that you earn out of haram thing, even if your intent is to go back and rebuild the Kaaba, insofar as the business that you embark is haram, the money you get out of it is haram. And therefore, whatever you do, whatever services that you spend the money for will be useless, because it's haram money.
Okay.
Yeah.
But also, as you see, some of these drug dealers will give out charity, take things to the mosque.
Yeah, sometimes very generous.
Yeah, very generous.
Yeah.
And sometimes people will pray for them, and seemingly the prayers are accepted. I don't understand why.
Well, I don't know. You see,
despite the fact that they do it.
Yes, you are right. The drug dealers are not. They are not, how to call it, non-believers. They are Muslims, but maybe deviating Muslims, Muslims, non-obedient Muslims. You understand? Okay. And you know that if you remember the meaning of Rahman, you have Rahman and Rahim. Rahman is about the mercy of God for everybody in this world, whether a Muslim, whether a Christian, whether a Jew, whether whatever, and whether somebody who believes in religion, or an atheist, a good, a bad, all people living on earth, they live under the mercy and the guidance, protection, and support of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You understand? Regardless of what they do, because it is Allah who provides them the means of survival. So, along the same line, there's nothing, if a drug dealer gives money to a needy people, he pray for him, Allah can accept the prayer. But then the question is, how or in what way will that play mean that